Yo, what's up, dudes? How's everyone's afternoon? Yo, Umbreon, Nolani, Cat, Jeff, Mysterious. What's good, guys? Cat, what up? How are y'all? That's fantastic. I'm slightly jealous. Cat. Alright. Okay. If y'all put stuff on the list, let me know. I'll look for it. Just let me know what it is. Diddy appears before a judge, and it's live. Well, I'm kind of curious, to be honest. Yeah, I saw that actually. Let me check that. Wrong one. Yeah, idiots in cars, 269. Bad electrician, real life lore. Rusty. Oh, whatever that is. And then these right here, I think we've done. I can't remember if we did that Nuke's Top 5 by Astro. He'll have to tell me. We'll do some idiots in cars first. That's fine. All right. Oh, Cybertruck. Fuck is it hauling? Is that like a sectional couch or something? I don't know. All right, let's. Bro, that's the weirdest shit. These AirPods are fooked. Yeah. Fuck out. Rip. Well, eventually. Astro, it's good, man. God damn it. Give me a second. niece was here early. Wait, what? I forgot to ask you when you explained what blousing was. Where can I find pants that aren't army issued? Any military surplus store? You kind of have to be within like a certain radius of a military installation to find some of these surplus stores, because a lot of these surplus stores are used by soldiers, active duty in particular. And we go to these surplus stores whenever CIF tells us, oh, you actually have to turn that in. And we're just like, well, fuck, man, I left it in Afghanistan. So you go to these surplus stores to buy whatever the fuck they want. Because if you let them charge you, they're going to charge you like $300 for what is essentially $45 at a military surplus store. I think this only exists in the South. Maybe, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's nationwide, but Ranger Joe's is it's all military, man. You'll find anything and everything there, except for, well, they don't sell weapons, but anything and everything military related, from the dress uniform to the current uniforms to ACUs, BDUs, DCUs, the Desert Storm ones, the new ones, the dress blues, the Class A's. You'll find patches, you'll find boots, like anything you can think of. You'll find knives, you'll find Oakleys, you'll find glasses, you'll find 550 cord, you'll find PT belts, you'll find the PT uniform. They sell shoes, they sell running shoes, they sell boots, they sell dress boots, all that shit. So, Ranger Joe's, if you wanted to get anything military related without the army issuing it to you, that would be your place. Again, any military surplus store will do the trick, really. But again, I don't know where you hail from. You kind of have to be within a certain radius of a military installation, because it doesn't make sense for these military installation or for these surplus stores to exist in the middle of nowhere, right? Or just like in a really, really small town, not even close to a military base, because they wouldn't make that much money. They have to be decently close to a base, fort, camp, whatever the deal. I really don't know, DeRozier. I'm sure you can find a video on YouTube of someone doing it and them getting stopped by the cops, and then judging by that interaction, you can deduce on your own, but the legality of it, I don't know.
This video is made for
All right. Idiots in Cars 269.
educational purposes and contains significant original text commentary.
Oh yes. That's rad. You always gotta watch out for that rogue Camry. It'll get you.
What is that about?
Why is that person driving down the middle of the lane?
I just always assume that when people drive like that, they have to shit. As opposed to getting pissed off and assuming that the DMV let me down.
Very, very beautiful. Cooper's Rock is very beautiful. We went through there on the way over. Just straight shot down 68, basically, is how it is. Maybe a couple hours drive for us.
Hey, bro, you gotta stop, man. Let the bus through. Why are you honking at the bus? I would have let the bus through.
Video
It's a
protected.
bus. Right? Don't these things have the right of way always? You yield to... Good God. Look at that man. Oh shit, yeah, he spun all the way out.
Real nice, buddy.
Oh my god. He was trying to be cool and almost died.
Oh my god! And that's why we go slow. No, watch it.
Yeah. That's why we go slow.
Lights.
Guys, there's a gas station right there. Come on, use some sense.
Oh my god! Is he leaving? He's leaking.
He's being smart. He's going to the gas.
Dude, this is. Oh. And these fathers are just watching. At least the fire department is literally right there.
Wait, what? This is like a very recent video. Lucy was driving in Georgia right after Hurricane Helene. The street lights weren't working, so she was extra cautious. Oh, shit. That explains this. And motherfucker's still speeding, and the lights don't work. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm scared.
That's such a hazard to even be on the road, man. It wasn't a problem back in the day, it was just horse and carriage. These are speeding bullets. Oh shit. God damn, there goes Grandma in the Coupe de Ville. Poor little old lady. Her and her little Chihuahua Taco. They're not having a good day. Oh my god! Holy shit! The fucking... Oh my god. Someone needs to tell fucking Scooby-Doo and gang to get off the fucking highway. It's daytime. What kind of ghost are you looking for? Jesus. That man's whole ass laundry came out of the fucking... Oh, it's not funny. Alright. Hello? Oh. Jesus, oh my god. That man right there to the far right was just minding his own business. He was having a good day, right? He was probably on his way to go get some strange. And now he's gonna be late. The girl's gonna think that he stood her up. Shame. Damn. I'd be pissed. Jesus Christ. Again, just minding my day. Trying to go get those fucking breadsticks at goddamn Olive Garden, but nope, I'm stuck here now with these two jagaloons. Nice. Oh lord, holy shit. What happened? What happened to... Man, I would not stop for you. Hell no. Right there? No way. We kept going. I can't help you. You're just a bad driver.
Laying around, vomited. Or thinking about vomiting.
Not your turn. Not your turn.
Oh, Jesus! What the f?
Neither of you were paying attention. What do you mean?
You okay, baby?
Shingles, hammer, silicone brushes piled.
Man, you had like 8 centuries to see this man
What is your problem?
turning into your lane.
Democrats were going to win North Carolina, and so I've been like, it is Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Nebraska. That's your problem. Part of it is like, she's overperforming with white voters. Like, she's doing Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Nebraska.
Oh, is this the...
That's your problem. Part of it is like, she's overperforming with white voters. Like, she's doing well with white voters. I think there was maybe some concern. I know I had some concern demographically with Biden dropping out.
Damn,
like, Biden was doing very well with older white people. That was who he was working for, and I was like, oh man, because he's an older white person. Yes, he is. But she...
Oh. That's fine.
What have you thought of the working relationship between Nick Sirianni and Alan Moore that you observed? He's been asked that question. That's the get inside someone's head question. Is it how's it feel? He did, and I would tell you though.
Yeah. Yeah. My sister's getting annoyed because she was supposed to deploy at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and then they were like, "Nah, changed. 7 rolls around. Nope, changed. Noon rolls around. Nope, changed again. Now they're not leaving till like 7. Which, dude, if it changes again, she's gonna be so mad. It's like she's ready to go, and like I know the feeling. One of her battle buddies is here too. He's cool. All right, let's continue.
There's something he doesn't remember. There is a difference between. I disagree that. I don't care that.
What a rad color.
That's one. Hold on.
That's some shit. Brake failure. Okay. Jesus Christ. That's some shit straight out of a fucking movie. Oh my god. 17 people injured, no fatalities. Yeah, the incident underscores why pre-checks are crucial for every heavy vehicle. That's madness. Good God. I thought the culprit of that one was gonna be that hot pink ass car. Bad. He tried to turn too, and the truck. Oh my god. Minding his own business. You always hate when there's collateral damage. That shit's fucking annoying. Oh, in the rain? You're super cool. Yeah, there you go. Oh my god. The split. Oh my god, it was like bowling.
It's common knowledge that there are a number of top-tier universities.
It's not funny. Oh my god. Yo, you couldn't have done that better. Holy shit. Jesus. Damn. Man, what if the person on the side of the road right there was just taking a nap? Oh my god, imagine. That's... Holy shit, we would have been here forever. Yeah, that's a couch. That's like a sectional. Or an ottoman or something. What's this car? Hold on. What did it say? Oh, I see it now. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, that cargo net's not gonna hold. Yeah, I just noticed that. Or hopefully it does. I don't know. All right. I mean, depending on the ladder, some ladders don't fit in regular trucks. Did he crash, or is he just gonna get pulled over? And there's just like a Porsche chilling, like right here. At least I think that's what it is. This has no sound. I'm sorry.
Yes!
Christ.
Dash cam nation!
My bad.
Yes! Oh my god, karma's a...
Yeah, he got.
Are we stopping to let someone through? What the f are you doing? No, this is gonna be an accident.
That's bad. Oh, Florida. Look at man's on the Vespa right here. That's the real risk taker right there. Holy, just weaving. Damn,
make it?
that's crazy. No helmet.
No, the other guy. I know. I'm talking about this guy. The other guy.
I think so.
Imagine you just see his body fly and hit that fucking sign. Probably fall out. Oh shit! Where are you going? What are you doing? Yeah. Oh yeah. What are you doing? You're going the wrong way. Holy, and you're on the wrong side. Holy shit! Good God!
What the? Scared the shit out of me, man. What the are they doing?
He's mad.
Dude.
Yo, he turned around just to do that. I guess. I thought he was at least gonna give him the finger. That's finger behavior. Oh, look at this fucking rape van right here. Holy.
Wow. They're doing stuff. Dude.
Oh my god. Pizza Boy's lost.
Stupid? You born yesterday?
I would hope not. Because that would be disturbing. An infant delivering pizza. A fucking University of Rome here.
Doesn't matter if they have to lock arms in front of the building.
Holy shit. Clark Kent's dad, get the fuck out of the way, dog.
Question for you, as a former CIA.
What are you doing? Oh. He held on to it for a long ass time. You gotta be obnoxious when Jesus. Me. Oh shit, no, I missed.
What the hell?
Fucking idiot, man.
Florida again?
What the hell?
Onto West Sample Road.
You know why I think Florida drivers are so bad? Is because naturally, I feel like naturally I feel like he's like, alright, I'll get out of your way. He's not
Dude. Am I fucking dumb? It's really red light. And they were just keep going.
Yeah, they were not looking at all.
I think yeah, I think the reason that this intersection sucks.
What are you doing, man? What are you doing, man?
Fried chicken.
There's a lot of Florida clips on there, and I think that the reason a lot of people in Florida suck at fucking driving is because naturally I feel that majority of people, they just go full fucking retard in the rain. And in some parts of Florida, it's always fucking raining. Well, it's not always raining, but it rains, and then 15 minutes later it rains again, and then like an hour later it rains again, and then goes back to sunny, and then back to rain, and then back to sunny. It'll rain like 18 times in one fucking day. So, yeah, I think that's why. Inclement weather. But then again, I didn't see one inclement weather. Well, there was like two that had rain involved, but all right. God damn it. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm down to this one. It's at the threshold for requests, so We'll run it. Gotta run it. Gotta run it first. And on top of that, this just seems interesting. So I am down to do those episode 3 and 4 of Halo, and yeah, done. Holy shit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna watch like 35 minutes of this, and then we'll move on, and then if we have to come back to it, at the end of the stream, we will, and finish it out. So yeah. Because Kevin's is not that long, and Astro's is not that long, so I want to knock those out as well. Alright. A real life lore. Why every country combined still couldn't invade the US.
The fantasy of a hostile.
Okay. And yeah, I recognize this. There's a movie that depicts this, right? Wasn't it, yeah, wasn't it?
The fantasy of a hostile foreign nation launching.
Wasn't it Warriors that depicted that, I believe, if I can remember correctly? Blood. Red Dawn, that's what it was, not Warriors. Fuck am I talking about? Yeah, Red Dawn. I think that's the premise of that movie, right? What if all the countries were on one continent against us? That wouldn't be a good idea. John, what's up? That wouldn't be a good idea. Is that what you're saying? What if all the countries... Oh, you mean like including us, if we were all on one continent? Then this would have happened a long ass time ago, and we would have been over it at this point by now, I feel. Or maybe not. In a way. In a way, like, could you imagine being connected by land to Russia, China, Afghanistan? All that. I'm trying to. I'm trying to think of what that would look like in my head. It would have already come to slaughter. Really, that's what I think. It would have already come to slaughter. How it would end, I don't know. Well, it would end with the strongest, really. I mean, think of it like when Genghis Khan was taking over all of Europe. Place by place, piece by piece, brick by brick, country by country, territory by territory. He fucking took everything. And if our continents were connected, that's exactly what would happen. But I don't know who that person would be. Would it be us? I don't know. Because if our continents are connected, I mean, I don't even think the world would look the same. I don't even think. I don't know. I don't think anything would look the same. I don't think that we would have the same. We couldn't have this society if all our continents were connected. There's no way. We could not have this society with. But then again, who's to say that the strife that happened in the, like, if all the continents were together, all that strife and killing and all that shit, it happened, and then everything just established into a natural order, right? That could happen too. Would be an interesting movie in like some alternate fucking dimension type thing. All right, here we go. I don't know, man. Why every country still couldn't invade the US. I don't really believe this to be true. I'm sorry. And there's one thing that makes me believe that. One thing, man. A massive EMP. That's how you cripple this country. A massive EMP. Do you know what that would do? Like, if everything turned off? If everything in this country turned off for just... I'm not even going to say a day. If everything turned off for just 1 hour. 1 hour! Everything turned off. Bro, you're talking... You're talking infrastructure. You're talking police. You're talking hospitals. You're talking medical services. You're talking day-to-day shit. And in the midst of all that fucking chaos... You drop bombs, man. Really? I don't know. I'm just like, I don't want to sit here and say that we're fucking invincible. That's... Any society and every society has fallen at some point. All right? We're not exempt just because we live in these amazing tech times. It'll all end eventually. But we're going to start. Already done enough of this.
A full-scale invasion of the United States has been a common trope in fiction now for decades. And while the idea of a foreign power invading the United States has been around since the nation's founding, the modern fictional trend of depicting a foreign invasion of the country sort of dates back to the release of the movie Red Dawn in 1984, which depicts a joint Soviet, Cuban, Nicaraguan, and Mexican ground invasion of the United States over the Mexican border after Mexico undergoes a communist revolution that installs a Marxist government in power there that grants the Soviets military access. While its remake that came out decades later in 2012 somewhat more implausibly depicts a joint North Korean-Russian invasion and occupation of the US West Coast instead. The idea has also been a fairly common trope in recent video games, with Call of Duty's Modern Warfare 2 released in 2009 and its sequel Modern Warfare 3 that released in 2011, both depicting a massive Russian invasion and occupation of the entire US East Coast. A feat that stretched the imagination even back then, a decade before Russia's struggling invasion of Ukraine began. There's also the...
It's not as much of a stretch of the imagination as much as when that Civil War movie tried to make you believe that Texas and California teamed up to secede from the United States and kill the president. So, not that ridiculous.
Video game Homefront that released in 2011 that depicts the successful North Korean invasion and occupation of the western US.
Okay,
and then there's also the many Fallout games that in the build-up to global nuclear war depicts a full-scale Chinese invasion of Alaska from across the Bering Strait. But obviously, as interesting as all of these fictional scenarios are, we all know deep down that the United States could never actually become the target of a hostile foreign invasion. We all know that the United States is separated from any major rival by 2 vast oceans. And we all know that the US military is dramatically more powerful than any rival is. We've all been watching how terrible the Russian invasion of Ukraine has been going for the past 2+ years now. And that's a country that's directly next door to Russia that has thousands of kilometers worth of land borders, let alone what an invasion of a much bigger country over on the other side of the world would look like. We all generally know that...
See, that's like... Okay, geographically, yeah, man, we're kind of invincible. When you think about it like that. I've seen way too many Tom Clancy movies. All right. Excuse the weird theories of the EMPs and shit. I'm just, I like making theories too. But yeah, from a geographical standpoint, we are, man. Think of all these other countries over there that are landlocked, and it's just so easy to just walk right over there and just start killing motherfuckers, man. It's that easy. Whereas in two oceans, you got Canada up there, you got Mexico down there. We kind of get along with Mexico, I feel, a little bit. Really, just the cartels. And then we're friends with Canada. So, I mean, the only way you could get in is through Canada or Mexico, because you can't get in from the coasts. There's no way. From Cali and like North Carolina and Florida and all that shit, you can't get in through there. There's no way. You'd have to get in through land, through Mexico, and that's why they did it that way in Red Dawn. They came through Alaska, through Canada, and then up through Mexico, and then bam, right there. That's the only way to do it. They were smart. They were like, there's no way we're getting past their Navy. Because our Navy is just mind-boggling, just strong. It's, I can't even put it into words.
Big foreign invasion of the United States is impossible. But what most of us don't really appreciate is just how utterly, laughably impossible it actually is, when you really start digging into the specifics of it. And I will argue in this video that even if the entire rest of the outside world combined joined all of their populations and military assets to cooperate on a mission to invade and conquer the United States, it would still be completely impossible for them to all actually pull it off. And here are all of the many, many reasons why that's the case. First of all,
it would just be a really bad idea to try to invade from the coast. You know how deadly that would be? And especially invading California. That's why they're so happy-go-lucky all the time, and rainbows and sunshine and blah 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 and fairies and shit, because they really are truly protected. They really are. Not only are they connected to this country, they're American, but they got Marines there, they got Air Force there, they got Navy there, they got a whole bunch of shit there that can defend that whole entire coastline from anything. And then you got the shit that's even deeper out to sea in the form of carriers, destroyers, and shit like that are just always patrolling. It'd be a death wish to do a coastal invasion from any side. Let's just hope that relations never sour with Canada. I don't think they ever will, but you never know, man. Shit happens.
Any attempted invasion of the United States would have to immediately encounter the American nuclear defense strategy and doctrine, which all on its own would immediately halt any invasion attempt from the outside world. You see, the United States utilizes a nuclear triad defense doctrine, a three-legged strategy that involves land-based, sea-based, and air-based nuclear weapons scattered all across the world that would be logistically impossible for anyone, no matter how strong, to fully eliminate before the United States could retaliate. The land-based leg of America's nuclear triad is represented by the hundreds of hardened nuclear ICBM launch silos that the country operates and maintains across the Great Plains in the states of Montana, North Dakota, Wyoming, Nebraska, and Colorado, deep within the interior of the country, thousands of miles away from any beachhead landing site that an invading army could potentially attack from. There are around 450 total ICBM silo locations scattered all across all of these territories, but only around 400 of the silos actually.
And breaking into this place would do nothing. I mean, maybe you could break in, rig this shit to explode, get lucky. I don't even know what that would look like. How much explosives would you need to cause a chain reaction to get this big bitch to explode? Because you're not launching this thing. I think that comes from that big white house that president sits in. And so breaking into these things or even targeting these things would be pointless. Truly pointless. Complete waste of time, I feel. I mean, maybe you could just try to, blow it up inside and let the explosion go out underground. I don't know what kind of devastation that would cause, but it really is pointless. Not the same level of devastation that you could have if you detonated it in New York City, which is why we keep these things out in the middle of fucking nowhere. I think that if you were to find this, get in, sneak in, successfully detonate it, wouldn't fucking matter. I don't even think it'd kill anybody.
actually contain the missiles, leaving around 50 of them behind as decoys to disrupt any potential first strike on them and waste an attacker's time. Under normal circumstances, the US President and the Secretary of Defense have direct, reliable, and almost instant contact with each of the ICBM launch crews. The launch control facilities for each of these missile silos are located at the 3 different military bases near.
Dude, imagine you work at one of these places. You're just chilling, going through your normal daily routine, and the president calls. Surely that motherfucker doesn't call all the time, or just to say hi. And you're just like, oh no, what happened? I gotta call my family. That's like, because I don't think he just calls these places. He has a direct line of contact. If he calls, that's bad, I feel.
Nearby to each of the silo clusters. If, when under attack, contact between these ground-based launch control centers and the remote missile launch facilities is lost, specially designed E-6B Airborne Launch Control Center aircraft will automatically assume the command and control of the missiles from the air, from within the interior of the country that will maintain direct contact with the president. Which means...
So what you're saying is that in order to take out any of our nuclear silos or ICBM locations, you are going to have to go on land, only for that shit to just get transferred to the sky, which means you're going to have to also have birds in the sky. Oh, that's just such a hard undertaking, and what's it worth? What is it worth? Really? Because if you fuck with us at this scale, we will launch these things at you. And like he said, we have these scattered around the world. We can hit a button here and launch something on the other side of the planet that hits you. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Bro, after 9/11, man, we just started taking steroids. Real shit.
That even if an enemy was somehow able to neutralize all 3 military bases and their command centers at once in the middle of Montana, North Dakota, and Wyoming, they would still have to contend with somehow shooting down all of these planes as well.
Yeah.
Were an invading enemy to fail, each of the hundreds of ICBMs that America parks underground across these hundreds of silos pack enough destructive force to blow up an entire city. And they have an operating range of approximately 14,000 kilometers.
Oh my God.
Enabling them.
Holy shit. Yo, once we get, no, hold on, this doesn't reach the superpowers, does it? Most of the countries that we can hit, I don't think we would. Except for, no, somewhere over here, maybe. This range is only going to get bigger, and I don't even know if this is accurate. So, that's Jesus Christ.
Them to strike virtually all major population centers across the Americas, Eurasia, Oceania, and most of northern Africa if they wanted to, leaving only southern Africa and Western Australia outside of America's ICBM range. And even if you were somehow able to avoid or neutralize all of these hundreds of land-based ICBMs, you'd still have to deal with the sea-based leg of America's nuclear triad as well.
Our nuclear submarines. You can't find, yep, there it is. There it is. You can't find them, you can't see them, you can't track them, they're invisible, and they carry heavier payloads than these things.
The United States maintains a fleet of 14 Ohio-class strategic submarines that can be armed with submarine-launched ballistic missiles carrying nuclear warheads. 8 of these nuclear-armed strategic missile submarines are home-ported in Bangor, Washington, nearby to Seattle, while...
And look how close they are to California. Right here. Look at this. Y'all ever heard that song by Lil Wayne? I ain't got no worries. I ain't got no worries. Yeah, that's like California's theme song. Because nobody's fucking with California. And I love how, like, in Hollywood, they always show the movies of, like, California being one of the first places to get fucked up. Makes sense from a population standpoint, but, dog. Look at that. Fuck around.
While the other 6 are home-ported in Kings Bay, Georgia, nearby to Jacksonville,
Let's go.
Providing the U.S. strategic submarine fleet.
I did not know that. I feel so much safer now. I'm moving back to Georgia next year anyways. I think.
With major bases of operations in both the Pacific and the Atlantic. Each of these strategic submarines are powered by an advanced nuclear reactor on board, which enables the subs to operate effectively indefinitely without the need to ever refuel. This is how, on average, each of the subs will spend about 77 days continually at sea and underwater out on patrol, followed by around 35 days back at port in either Georgia or Washington for maintenance before going back out on patrol again.
What do you guys feel about a fully automated submarine? No. No, sir. Because some people, I know some people are going to have the thought process, and it's an appealing thought process. Like, man, those things have to surface at some point because they have to be operated by humans. So let's just remove the humans, put in some tech, and that shit can stay underwater for fucking ever, and it can just be a silent guardian of the oceans. Yeah, that sounds cool and everything, but nah. I've seen too many Terminator movies, and this thing carries nukes, so no, pass.
Because of this rotating cycle of patrol and maintenance, the US Navy maintains around 8 of these strategic missile submarines scattered all around the world's oceans at any given time, 365 days a year. Their exact locations while out on patrol beneath the ocean at any given time is a closely guarded top secret, which is the whole point of them.
A lot of sailors would be heartbroken over that. It wouldn't be every submarine. It would just be a few, probably. I don't know. I'm just saying, but I would not want that. No, I would not want this type of weaponry to be left up to AI or some kind of automated. If you want to put some kind of like robot dog or some shit on the battlefield, which is, you know, kind of already being used by EOD, you go for it. Or little robot tech and shit like that, go for it. But man, when it comes to this type of weaponry, and this is a weapon, don't get it mistaken. Yeah, it carries people, but this is a weapon.
They could be anywhere at any time, and a major attack on the United States would have to consider that. Each of these 8 or so strategic submarines that are constantly out on patrol are armed with around 20 Trident II D5 ballistic missiles that contain
Giving this thing AI, now that I mention it, is literally the equivalent of what they did to those fucking Mako sharks in the movie Deep Blue Sea, where they make them super intelligent. And what do the sharks start doing? They start hunting the motherfuckers that made them intelligent on some savage shit? Nah, pass, man. I've seen too many movies.
Multiple independently targeted nuclear warheads on board. The missile's exact range is classified, but it's estimated to be somewhere around 12,000 kilometers or more, and they're so accurate, they can hit their intended targets within only 100 meters from all that distance away. Each one of these strategic missile submarines packs enough apocalyptic firepower to destroy an entire country, and there are always 8 of them permanently deployed around the world at all times in unknown locations that any attacker of the United States would also somehow have to deal with. You'd have to somehow find and eliminate all 8 of these nuclear submarines that could be located literally anywhere across any of Earth's oceans before they could fire their missiles, which would sort of be like trying to find 8 needles across 3 haystacks, each the size of a city.
Bro, if countries were superheroes, we're fucking Batman. What do y'all think about that? I would have said Iron Man, but we don't have nanotechnology yet, or maybe we do, but not to that degree. So I'm going Batman because that's just a guy, and I can relate more to Batman than I can to Iron Man, even though I love Iron Man. We're Batman, bro. We're fucking Batman.
And if the sea and land-based legs of America's nuclear triad weren't enough, there's also the air-based leg.
Our contingencies have contingencies.
Of the triad that any attacker would have to contend with as well. The US military stores hundreds of nuclear bombs across several of their overseas military bases abroad, including across 6 of their bases in Europe, ranging from Kleine in Belgium to Volkel in the Netherlands, Buchel in Germany, Getty and Aviano both in Italy, and
I've been here. This place is so nice. My sister was here, 2 years ago.
Incirlik in Turkey. U.S. strategic bombers stationed at these European bases can be quickly armed with nuclear bombs and given orders to take off for strategic strikes. Well, almost certainly, the United States also stores nuclear bombs at another one of their overseas military bases on a small island here called Diego Garcia, in the middle of the Indian Ocean, where American strategic bombers can sortie out from and attack targets rapidly anywhere around the rim of the Indian Ocean, putting locations like Western Australia and Southern Africa that are out of range of American ICBMs.
Okay, yeah, dude, never mind. We can hit everybody. We can hit anyone and everyone. I thought we were limited. But this didn't even cross my mind.
To being within range of American strategic bombers. Combined, the land, sea, and air-based legs of America's nuclear triad put the entire world into the range of American nuclear firepower, which means that in order for an enemy to avoid an overwhelming US nuclear response, an invader would have to somehow eliminate every single component of the entire triad. From all of the hundreds of missile silos in their command centers across the interior of the country, deep within North America,
You got a better chance killing John Wick.
to all 8 of the submarines operating at secret locations across the world's oceans and their bases on opposite ends of the country, to all of the nuclear bomb storage sites and their air bases dotted all across Europe and on the other side of the world in the dead center of the Indian Ocean. Dismantling all of this would require worldwide logistical coordination and support to have any hope of success already, and it's probably
And we have too many friends.
just an impossible feat to accomplish on its own.
Data analytics is an awesome field to get into.
We have too many friends and someone would tell. Someone always tells.
In addition to America's advanced offensive capabilities with firing their nukes at enemies, there's also America's advanced defensive capabilities with intercepting and destroying incoming enemy nuclear attacks as well. You see, there are only 7 countries in the entire world outside of the United States that are known to possess nuclear-armed ICBMs in their arsenals: the United Kingdom, France, Russia, Israel, India, China, and North Korea. And the only states out of that narrow list that are actually potentially hostile to the United States are Russia, China, and North Korea. But even if every single ICBM-armed country was hostile to the United States, they would all still have a difficult time with getting all of their missiles through into the United States without inviting a US retaliatory strike that would destroy them all as well. Every nuclear ICBM-armed power is located within the Northern Hemisphere, and all of them besides for the United States are also located in the Eastern Hemisphere, which means that if any of them were to fire their missiles at the United States, the shortest distance for them to take would be by flying over the Arctic Circle and Canada first. The US, of course, has been well aware of this dynamic for decades now, which is why the country maintains an advanced early missile warning system called the Solid-State Phased Array Radar System, or SSPAR. The whole network maintains systems bases at 5 geographically separate locations that roughly covers the entire continental United States by early warning radar and space surveillance, with bases within or near to the Arctic Circle in the UK, northwestern Greenland, and central Alaska, and additional bases for Pacific and Atlantic coverage based at Beale, California, and at Cape Cod, Massachusetts, all of which work together to alert.
So when Americans say this so and so politician or this so and so politician, they're gonna take us into nuclear war. They always say it like they're afraid. Who are you actually afraid for? I think you're. It's typical of people that say this. I think you have sympathy for the other side. But we're talking nukes here. We're not talking spitballs. Or hell, even a bullet. So, I just think that shit's hilarious. Like, I don't feel unsafe in the slightest. All these people say it like they're scared. What are you scared of? The fact that we can mop the whole fucking world and you won't be able to fucking visit your favorite vacation spot overseas anymore? Is that what you're afraid of?
The United States of any potential ICBM approaches hours before they actually strike, giving Washington plenty of time to plan out a retaliatory.
Because I'm not afraid in the slightest. After seeing this, yeah, I mean, it's slightly nerve-wracking, but I mean, dude, it's the end of everything, really. And they know that, man. They know that. It's like when the superhero is fighting the bad guys, right? But then an even bigger threat shows up to destroy the whole city, and the superhero's like, yo, come on, help me beat this thing. And they're like, no. And he's like, well, there's not gonna be a city for you to commit crime in if we let this fucker do his thing. And they're like, okay, I'll help you, right? And then they defeat the fucking
strike. But okay, let's just assume that for whatever reason, nuclear weapons aren't being used in an invasion of the United States, and America's nuclear arsenal has been either successfully destroyed or it's been decided to not use it.
Well, then that means you're gonna have to deal with Florida Man, and that's a whole different conversation altogether. So have fun with that. I'd probably just invade from the north. Please don't invade from the south. It won't be good for you.
Massive ground invasion of the US mainland, even if carried out by the entire outside world combined, still wouldn't work out for the following reasons.
Florida Man.
First of all, is America's vast and interconnected defense alliance network with dozens of other countries from all around the globe. As of 2024, the United States maintains legally binding mutual defense pacts.
And on top of this, bro, ground invasion. You can only come. Let's just say you do the coast, right? You're dealing with everything that's in California. Most Marines are in Cali. Well, not most. A lot of Marines are in Cali. You got Fort Benning right here in Georgia. You got Fort Knox. You got Fort Campbell. You got Fort Bragg somewhere in here. You got Fort Drum somewhere over here. Not to mention the plethora of naval shit on this coastline and Air Force bases, to which I don't know their locations. And even if you came through here, even if you came through this stretch, through the Gulf, it's same thing. And here you're coming through Louisiana and Alabama. That's bad for you. And Georgia. Florida's right there. If you decide to skip Florida, that'd be a good move. You'd have to overpower Canada, bro. You'd have to overpower Canada and come this way. There's no other way.
With 53 different countries from all around the world, spanning all the countries in NATO, including big countries like Canada, Spain, the UK, France, Germany, Italy, Poland, Sweden, and Turkey. The Rio Treaty in the Americas that includes big countries like Brazil, Colombia, and Argentina. The ANZUS Treaty with Australia and New Zealand. And more individual defense treaties that have been crafted with Japan, South Korea, the Philippines, and Thailand. Out of the top 40 countries in the world by annual military spending after the United States, 23 of them are legally obliged to come to America's defense during an attack or invasion scenario. And that's on top of the world by annual military spending.
I gotta go back and hear this.
Treaty with Australia and New Zealand, and more individual defense treaties that have been crafted with Japan, South Korea, the Philippines, and Thailand. Out of the top 40 countries in the world by annual military spending after the United States, 23 of them are legally obliged to come to America's defense during an attack or invasion scenario. And that's on top of the estimated 750 or so US military bases that are dotted all across the world that harshly contain any potential American geopolitical rival. Russia is surrounded by NATO countries in the west and by Japan and South Korea in the east. China and North Korea, meanwhile, are heavily contained by American military bases in the region and by America's regional allies in the first island chain, Japan, South Korea, and the Philippines, and to a lesser degree by Taiwan and Thailand, while Iran is similarly constrained by American military bases to their south and west. In order for anyone to carry out a successful invasion of the United States, hundreds of these overseas US military bases with tens of thousands of US troops at them would all have to somehow be neutralized first, while America's massive defensive alliance system that spans around the world would also have to somehow be dissolved or neutralized too, just in order to prevent most of the other most powerful countries in the world from assisting the US. And then, even if an outside power was able to somehow do all of that and unite the entire world against America, they would still have to contend with the sheer power of the US armed forces themselves, which, all on their own, even without any allies, are virtually unchallengeable. And that's because the US Air Force, and especially the US Navy, are truly in a league of their own on a global scale. In terms of naval assets, other than France, the United States is the only country in the world that operates nuclear-powered aircraft carriers. And while France only has one of these nuclear-powered carriers, the United States currently has 11 of them. There are 27 aircraft carriers currently in service worldwide across every country's navy. And all of them outside of the American and French navies are powered with traditional diesel or gasoline fuel. This enables America's carriers to hypothetically run continually without the need to refuel themselves for up to 25 years. With the need to find a port to refuel for oil eliminated, the only limiting factors for a U.S. carrier
I didn't know that. I didn't know the lifespan of the... Jesus.
Carrier deployment are shore leave and food stores. And food stores can be provided by helicopters to the carrier if they really don't want to stop at a port and extend their mission length. 40% of all the operating aircraft carriers in the world right now are within the US Navy alone, while 77% of all the world's aircraft carriers belong to the US and America's treaty allies in NATO, plus Japan and Thailand. And none of the other carriers besides that single one controlled by France can match American nuclear propulsion technology, which greatly limits their power projection capabilities. China and Russia, arguably America's two biggest geopolitical rivals at the moment, have but 4 aircraft carriers between them. Moreover, none of the other world's aircraft carriers can compete against the sheer size of the American carrier fleet either. America's aircraft carriers are divided right now between older Nimitz-class carriers that have been in service since 1975 and newer Gerald R. Ford-class carriers that have only begun entering into service since 2017, and which represent the largest warships that humanity has ever built. Each of America's 11 nuclear-powered carriers that are currently in service can carry more than 80 fixed-wing aircraft and helicopters on board, including dozens of modern F-35 fighter jets. Meaning that a single one of America's carriers wields an air component that is more powerful than most countries' entire air forces are. Of modern F-35 fighter jets. Meaning that a single one of America's carriers wields an air component that is more powerful than most countries' entire air forces are. Put all together, America's 11 carriers have enough aircraft between them to make them the 13th largest air force in the world by numbers alone, with more aircraft than are even in Britain's Royal Air Force that can be exported anywhere in the world. And because America's aircraft carriers are just so much bigger than the rest of the world's carriers are, the deck space on all 11 of them is literally more than double the deck space available of all the other aircraft carriers in the world combined.
See, what did I tell you? This shit is mind-boggling, man, when it comes to the Navy and the Air Force. It just is, dude. One carrier has enough firepower to dwarf that of like several countries combined. I told you, it's just difficult to wrap your head around. We're on steroids.
So far, the largest, most advanced, and capable aircraft carrier ever built outside of the United States is believed to be the Fujian, which was only launched by the Chinese People's Liberation Army Navy just a few months before I made this video in May of 2024. Nevertheless, the Fujian is still only powered by conventional diesel, which means that its range is severely limited and largely restricted to just operating near to the Chinese coast. And it can only store a complement of 50+ aircraft on board compared to the 80+ that can be stored on board American carriers. Even if the Fujian and every single...
Dude, it's almost like... America's like... How many planes do they have? I see. Triple it. Boats? I see. Quadruple that. Anything else? Just go ahead and triple, quadruple, and quintuple every single category. That's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna make it better and bigger, faster. Like, holy shit.
Single other operating aircraft carrier in the world right now outside of the US Navy join forces to launch an all-out invasion of the US, they would A, almost all struggle to even get nearby to the US shores in the first place because all of them, besides the French carrier, would need oil and port refueling sites to keep them going. And there aren't too many friendly options for them around the US mainland. And B, they would only be capable of carrying around 560 aircraft split between fixed-wing craft and helicopters to the US shores, which is, frankly, pathetic compared to America's amphibious expeditionary capabilities that number nearly 900 aircraft across their carriers. And this is a big reason why even the entire outside world combined doesn't even have a fraction of the ability to project force around the world like the United States does, and why any potential invader of the US would struggle immensely with even transporting any meaningful air.
We literally invented the term show of force. And bro, I went on missions like that. Foot patrols. It was like the first mission that I ever went on. That wasn't the first mission I ever went on, but the first time that it was said to me was one of the first missions that we went out without our CI guy, the civil affairs dude. And I was like, where are we going? And they were like, oh, we're just gonna go through the village up to Mount Razorback, Baby Razorback, check that CP, come back. And I was like, that's it? That's all we're doing? We don't get to do anything else? And he was like, no, man, just show with force. I was like, to who? The people? He's like, no, man, fucking enemies. And I was like, okay, all right. It was a new concept to me at the time. I didn't know, because we always had a purpose. And the first time that ever happened, I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. It was part of the whole hearts and minds things. We'd go out there, show the enemy that we're there, protecting these fucking people, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Basically saying, we can kick your ass.
Air power to North America at all.
Oh, come on.
Unlock the world's largest.
For sure. Oh.
And if the carriers weren't enough, there's also America's submarine fleet for any potential invader to consider as well. In addition to America's fleet of 14 strategic missile submarines that carry their nuclear weapons, the country has 50 advanced nuclear-powered attack submarines within its fleet as well, which are designed to stealthily seek out and destroy enemy submarines and surface vessels. And
for those of you that don't know, that are not from America, and you're watching this video and you're curious, everything you've seen up to this point, this is what $800 billion buys you, by the way. So if you want to be just like America, cough up that money, because that's how much all this shit costs. By the way, that's our defense budget. Overall budget, we talked about this the other day. Overall budget, 7.3 trillion. Defense budget, 800-ish billion. So, to answer any questions that you may have, in case you were curious as to how much all this shit costs, can we afford it? Probably not, but we're gonna keep doing it because, you know, we're already in debt. Fuck it.
And to project power with onboard Tomahawk cruise missiles and special operations forces. Numerically speaking, the rest of the world has significantly more submarines than the United States does, with Russia and China each having a similar number of total subs as America does, and the rest of the world having several dozen more. But, just like with America's fleet of advanced nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, all of America's submarines, including all of their attack subs, are powered by onboard nuclear reactors, while most of the rest of the world's submarines are still powered by diesel-electric propulsion. Nuclear-powered submarines are much, much more militarily advantageous than diesel subs.
Dude, are we just way more advanced than every other country when it comes to nuclear-powered shit? Or do these other countries just not want to? Can they not afford it? Is it not in their budget? Do they say, fuck that, we don't need it? It seems like a very, very significant advantage. Man, really. And I didn't know just how many countries didn't have these vessels that were nuclear powered. That's kind of crazy.
Because
we have such a significant advantage on such a massive scale that it just like begs the question, why is no one else following suit? Just doesn't make sense, right? Tracy, what's up? It doesn't make sense, right? Why aren't there other countries following suit with what we're doing? I don't know, man. Question for the ages.
Because they're more
or maybe someone knows. I don't know.
Independent and less reliant on ports, since they don't need any fuel to keep themselves running for decades. They're also quieter, faster, and they can literally.
Our Air Force can also do this the same way our boats can stay at sea for really long amounts of time. Our Air Force can do this as well. They can refuel in the sky. They can stay up there, I think, as long as they Not as long as they want, but as long as physical limitations permit for the pilot. Because they are human after all. Some people forget that about these guys. These planes are insane.
Operate for months at a time, continually underwater, while diesel-electric submarines can only remain submerged beneath the water for a few days at a time. They need to locate friendly ports to refuel themselves, their engines are louder and easier to detect, and they're slower. Meaning that nuclear-powered subs are just much better at remaining hidden and attacking enemies with surprise and traveling over longer distances. There's also only 5 other countries besides the United States that currently operate nuclear-powered submarines, with Russia having the most of them at only 31, less than half the total that the US operates, while China only has 12 of them. In fact, all of the other countries' nuclear submarine fleets combined only roughly match the number of nuclear submarines in the American fleet. While America's nuclear submarines are considered to be significantly more advanced, with the current acting commander of the U.S. Pacific Fleet, Admiral Samuel Paparo, stating that he believes American...
I will say this, just going off of this graph, I would much rather go to war with China than Russia. Just based off of these numbers right here. I don't want to go to war with either of these two countries. I hope that the United States and these two countries stay friends for the rest of time. That is the ideal future for mankind. Because one thing that people forget, let's just say that Russia and America and China all decide to get into a spat with one another. Do you know how much collateral damage that's going to wreak on the rest of the planet? On people? Man, so I hope we stay friends with them forever. If not friends, just like acquaintances, like that one neighbor that you don't really talk to, but when you go check your mail, you're just like, "What's up, man? You should go back inside." That'd be ideal.
Combined only roughly match the number of nuclear submarines in the American fleet, while America's nuclear submarines are considered to be significantly more advanced, with the current acting commander of the U.S. Pacific Fleet, Admiral Samuel Paparo, stating that he believes American submarine technology is at least one entire generation, or about 10 to 20 years, ahead of rivals like Russia or China. So, while the U.S. submarine fleet may be at a disadvantage against the entire rest of the world numerically, the U.S. nuclear submarine fleet relies more on its significant technological superiority.
Quality over quantity.
And their greater speed, stealth, endurance, mobility, and payload capacities than any rival submarine fleets are capable of. And that would be a significant hurdle for any potential invader composed of mostly diesel-electric submarines to ever overcome. So, with inferior submarines and inferior aircraft carriers, a potential invader of the United States, even if it was the rest of the world combined, would struggle immensely with projecting amphibious force to the shores of North America because of the US Navy. And that's not even to mention the already tenuous supply chains that invading nations would have to run across thousands of miles of open ocean to maintain offensive operations in North America. We've already clearly seen the utterly disastrous logistics of the Russian army's invasion of Ukraine since 2022. And that's been a ground invasion into a neighboring country with thousands of miles of directly shared borders with
And that shit is taking forever. And they're neighbors.
Direct rail connections, connecting it to Russia's factories, military bases, and supply centers. Imagine Russia, China, or even the rest of the world attempting to run logistics to support their invading army's supply and ammunition needs across the vastness of the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, all while being harassed by dozens of stealthy American attack submarines. And even if they somehow were able to
you're also getting harassed by allies as well. They're legally obligated. Didn't know that. But they are legally obligated. And what happens if one of these countries is legally obligated to assist the US in any kind of trouble? What happens if they refuse? I'm assuming nothing but sanctions, because America loves hitting people with sanctions.
Do all of that and get through the whole US Navy. There's also the US Air Force, which is also just amazingly more powerful and capable than any other global air force, bar none. It's often said in the US military that the largest air force in the world is the
It's like violating a contract, so I suppose.
US Air Force, while the second largest is the US Navy. The US Air Force's budget alone is roughly the same as for the entire armed forces of China combined. While put together, the US Air Force and the US Navy alone possess nearly as many military aircraft as the next 3 largest countries do all combined: Russia, China, and India. Well, after you add in all of the other military aircraft in the rest of America's service branches, the full US military controls more aircraft than the next 5 nations do combined, including South Korea and Japan, on top of India, China, and Russia. Currently, the US military possesses around 630 super advanced F-35 fighter jets.
Oh my. Do we have 630 trained pilots for these F-35s? Probably not, right? I don't know the graduation rate of fighter pilots and how many actually even exist. But God, that's a lot of fucking planes, man. Jesus Christ.
Which is about equivalent to all of the military aircraft combined in the entire United Kingdom.
And that's just one type. That's just one type of plane. One. That we have more than just the F-35.
And that's just America's F-35s. And America's military plans to purchase about another 1,800 more F-35s too, which, when completed, will make America's F-35 fleet alone the world's 4th largest air force, with more F-35s than total aircraft in the entire Indian military combined. And remember that even with all of the aircraft carriers in the world right now outside of the US Navy, the rest of the world combined could only really carry about 560 total aircraft to the shores near North America, which is fewer total aircraft than America has F-35 fighters. Not to even mention the thousands of other fighters like the F-16 and other aircraft in the US military's arsenal that would obliterate all of that in an instant. So, in order to achieve aerial supremacy over the US mainland, an invading army couldn't possibly rely on aircraft carriers to do so, and would have to rely on transporting huge numbers of aircraft to land-based bases around the US instead. But unfortunately for any invader right now, virtually all of America's neighbors have mutual defense pacts with Washington and would never allow an invader to actually base their aircraft within their territory. Canada is a member of NATO, while the Bahamas, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Costa Rica, Panama, and Colombia are all members of the Rio Treaty, while Mexico maintains generally very friendly relations with the US as well. The only nearby states with hostile relations to Washington are, arguably, Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela right now.
So, dog. So if you didn't do a coastal invasion and you chose to do a land invasion, just like we saw in the movie Red Dawn, which I can't even remember how the fuck they told us in the movie that they did it, but you would have to overpower 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You'd have to overpower 7 countries before you even got to our borders. Or you could try to overpower Canada, see how good that works. But by the time, if you don't overpower this whole country, this shit has to happen so fast, dude. And the flow of information is even faster than what you can think. So.
And none of them have the infrastructure in place to support the huge amount of air power that would be necessary to actually challenge the US Air Force and Navy for aerial supremacy. And even if every country around the United States was openly hostile to the country, it would require the transportation to North America of every single military aircraft located across Russia, China, India, South Korea, and Japan, just to simply match the numbers of American military aircraft. And they would still have a significant technological and logistical disadvantage going up against the American aircraft. Okay, so we know that an amphibious invasion of the US mainland is a practically impossible feat for anyone to accomplish.
You know, the title of this video should be Why Everyone Hates America. Really. This is why people hate us, man. I feel. Really. People hate the strongest person, the smartest person, the most good-looking person. You hate them because you're not them, right? Or maybe it's like just envy, or just like you're the villain, right? You know, like the one that never loses, right? And people just want to see you lose, type of thing. Why people fucking, yeah.
So let's imagine that, for some reason, every country around the United States has become deeply hostile to the country, and Canada, Mexico, the Bahamas, and Cuba all start allowing major outside powers from beyond North America to start piling up millions of troops and all of their supplies and equipment to prepare for an all-out ground invasion of the US from across the Canadian and Mexican borders, with aerial support coming in from the Bahamas and Cuba and other air bases located across Canada and Mexico, with another shorter amphibious invasion punching into Alaska from across the Bering Strait from the Russian Far East into Alaska, just for good measure. Here's why none of that would ever still work out either. First of all, we need to discuss—
That was the whole Red Dawn thing right there.
The idea of invading Alaska from across the Bering Strait. As it stands right now, Russia's most far east territory, the Chukotka Autonomous Okrug, could never logistically support itself as a major staging ground for an invading army into Alaska. The entire population of this territory that's bigger than Texas is only a bit more than 50,000 people, making it one of the most sparsely populated places in the world that doesn't really have a lot of infrastructure. There are very few roads in the territory, and there aren't any railways or major ports at all, meaning that
the only thing that Russia would have going for them if they decided to invade from that side into Alaska is the terrain wouldn't look all that much different and the temperature wouldn't be all that much different. So you'd have that advantage. It's not going to get you very far, but
transporting and concentrating a large number of ground forces and all of their supplies here for an assault across the narrow Bering Strait into Alaska would be effectively impossible. Any possible assault into Alaska would have to be organized from much, much further away from Alaska in Russia's far eastern ports of Vladivostok and Chukotka, or from Japan, which presents the same logistical challenge as invading the US mainland would. The invading forces would have to establish reliable supply lines into Alaska stretching for thousands of miles across the northern Pacific, a difficult lesson that was learned the hard way by the Imperial Japanese during the Second World War. The last time in history that sovereign American territory was invaded and occupied by a hostile foreign power was between 1942 and 1943, when the Japanese occupied the small and sparsely populated Alaskan islands of Attu and Kiska, which they struggled to reinforce with supplies and were only able to hold on to for a year before getting overrun by much better supplied American and Canadian soldiers. Okay, but what about an invasion coming from the direction of Canada? Assuming that the Canadians were deeply hostile to the US for some reason and they started allowing millions of foreign soldiers into their territory for a big ground invasion across their border directly into the northern US. Unfortunately for the attacker, this direction too would be largely impossible to invade the United States from in any meaningful capacity for multiple reasons. First of all, there are significant geographic impediments to invading the US from the north.
The Great Lakes.
You have all 5 of the Great Lakes to consider, stretching from Minnesota to New York, that largely block an invasion coming from this direction penetrating into the industrial and population core of the Midwest, including rivers that separate close-by access points like Detroit and Buffalo from Ontario. And then you've also got the St. Lawrence Seaway that extends the rest of the way east from Lake Ontario through the rest of North America that empties out into the Gulf of St. Lawrence. There would be another challenging feature for an invading army to successfully cross over. And if these big lakes and rivers weren't enough of a defense, you also have the northern reaches of the rugged Appalachian Mountains that extend across northern New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, that an invading army would also have to somehow punch through next just in order to break into the heavily populated Northeast corridor. Moreover, you've also got the presence of the huge Canadian Shield that extends across most of the entire country. A vast area of exposed rock and very thin topsoil, where agriculture is effectively impossible and where building infrastructure like highways or railways is extremely expensive and difficult. The largest town located anywhere on the Canadian Shield is Sudbury in Ontario, and it only has a population of 166,000 people, which means that concentrating large numbers of troops and equipment anywhere on the Shield would be effectively an impossible task to do, since the infrastructure to support one there just doesn't really exist. This leaves, hypothetically, the only geographically feasible invasion route from Canada into the United States in the far west of the country, from across the open fields of Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta down into the Great Plains across the center of the United States, or from British Columbia down into Washington state. But this option of an invasion route in the west of Canada would also struggle for so many reasons. First of all, there is very little to capture of strategic value for hundreds of miles away from the border here, with major American population centers all located very far away that would require a massive advance to actually capture. The distance from the border here to a major American city like Denver would be about the same distance as the German army had to advance from Warsaw to Moscow during the Second World War, and
That's
across
a ways.
even more challenging terrain. There are the hundreds of land-based ICBM silos located across here that an invading army could attempt and capture, but again, there's no way they could make it down to them in time before America would simply fire them. And then they'd have to advance for hundreds of miles across hostile terrain before reaching anything else important. And moreover, all along their advance, the invading army coming from this direction would encounter probably the strongest insurgency in the entire country, since the rates of gun ownership in the United States are high everywhere, but they are the absolute highest up here in the states of Montana,
right
Idaho,
here.
and Wyoming,
Yeah.
where more than 60% of the civilian population in all three of these states are reported to own firearms, and where the geography in western Montana, Wyoming, and all across Idaho is extremely mountainous and rugged, meaning that any invading army coming from this direction would be effectively faced with an Afghanistan-style insurgency problem.
Bro, you're
And even
I forget, but there are places here in these United States that look just like Afghanistan to me. There's certain places in California that look just like Afghanistan to me, but yeah, and you don't have helicopters. I mean, you might if you'd need transport. You couldn't do this on foot. I mean, you could, but if I knew of the invasion and I was a fanatical motherfucker trying to defend the homeland here in Montana, and I have a lot of guns, the first place I'd be is up here shooting you as you try to come up. As would a lot of people probably, because you got to think, this is like a never-before-seen event, and it's shoot to kill, shoot on sight. The army's not coming to help us. Fucking Biden's not coming to help us. You got to do it. So, that's a...
and would be effectively faced with an Afghanistan-style insurgency problem.
Because you got to think, you got to go, like, it's not like you set up shop and you're going to patrol the mountains. No, you're invading. You're like on land now. You have like everything that you left with, you have with you. Good luck getting up that shit, bro. There's
problem. And even worse from an invader's perspective here, because of how difficult it is to settle anywhere on the Canadian Shield and build any infrastructure across it, there's only one single highway that connects the two population cores of Canada to the east of the Shield and to the west of the Shield, the Trans-Canada Highway. And this problem is Canada's Achilles heel when it comes to potentially supporting an invasion into the United States, because the Trans-Canada Highway converges in the city of Winnipeg in Manitoba. All the US military has to do in order to split Canada into two separate halves is to advance just far enough across their own border to seize and occupy Winnipeg, which would also leave Canada's core around Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal incapable of logistically supporting the Western theater with any resupplies of troops, with the undeveloped Canadian Shield to the north and the US itself to the south. This single action by the US military would crush any invading army's ability to ever get supplies and logistics to an invasion force coming from this direction, with a massive US Air Force would just simply bombard the remaining length of the Trans-Canada Highway relentlessly that would eliminate any advancing columns of troops and armor rolling along it. In theory, even though the US capture of Winnipeg would eliminate the ability for the east of Canada to support the Western invasion.
Bro, I'm telling you, man, you do this to America, and you will see a side of America that no one has seen since we dropped those bombs on fucking Japan. I'm telling you. That's like, oh, this is such a bad idea. Forget everything I said at the beginning of the video. I was like, I don't want to sit here and think that anyone is invincible, or that anything could be invincible, or that we would be. You know, because like, kind of grandiose. But having a hard time disagreeing with it now, so.
The invasion force could still possibly be supported by the port of Vancouver in the west in British Columbia, but that too would prove to be incredibly difficult to pull off from a geographic perspective. Vancouver is completely surrounded by the Cascade Mountains, and so the only way to get troops, supplies, and equipment from Vancouver out to the invasion front in the east would be through the small number of highways and railways that snake through the narrow mountain passes of both the Cascades and then the Rockies too.
Which is why I said that you would have to take Canada. Because Canada's not this stupid, bro. They're homies, right? Their president's kind of a fuckface, but they're homies, right? That's why I said you had to take Canada. There's just no way.
Towards the open fields in Alberta, narrow mountain passes that would be relentlessly attacked and bombarded by the US Air Force and American missiles during an emergency that would shut them down from being usable. And even just getting hostile troops and equipment into Vancouver to begin with would be a challenging task in its own right. With the major US naval forces, including their nuclear submarines, located just to the south of Vancouver, within the protected waters of the Puget Sound that would disrupt any naval forces from even trying. Okay, so a ground invasion from Canada into the northern US is probably just about impossible, no matter how much international effort is put into it. So what about a ground invasion from Mexico?
Dude, imagine how frustrated people are that fucking hate us. Because maybe they've gone over this. Like, oh, we can do it this way. No. Oh, we can do it this way. No, that. We can do it this way. Or they saw this video. Imagine how pissed they are.
Mexico into the southern US. This direction is, in theory, at least a little more.
Which is why most terrorist attacks are just isolated, individual, you know, one-time isolated events that happen. Some grand scale type shit, bro. It's just like, nah. And see, this is the thing, dude. You invade? Fuck fighting here, bro. Look at this. Look at this. It's not geography. What's the word? Topography or some shit? I don't know. Fuck fighting here. This seems awful. I know from experience. This would be ideal for me. It's just great. It's just great.
More plausible of a direction for an invading army to take than from Canada. But it would also, of course, still be incredibly challenging for a multitude of reasons. Most of the border in the center here is blocked by imposing geographic features like the southern Rocky Mountains and the vast, inhospitable, and sparsely populated deserts like the Mojave, Sonoran, and Chihuahuan that would all be very difficult for invading armies and their supply lines to advance across. Any big invading army coming from Mexico would therefore be left with little other choice than to either invade Southern California from Mexico's Baja California state, or into southern Texas from the Mexican states of Tamaulipas, Nuevo León, or Coahuila. Unfortunately for any invader, however, both of these geographically more plausible invasion routes are heavily blocked by the two highest concentrations of American military personnel and equipment in the entire world. California has the highest concentration of US troops on the planet with 159,000 active duty soldiers based in the state as of 2022, while Texas—
This is why everyone's so happy-go-lucky in fucking Cali, bro. I'm telling you. They're so protected. It's crazy.
Isn't far behind with 113,000 active duty troops deployed to the state as well, which when combined with Arizona and New Mexico, represent roughly 300,000 active duty US troops stationed nearby to the southern border. San Diego, immediately across the border from Mexico in the west, is a major concentration of the US military, with huge Navy and Marine Corps bases that alone is home to 115,000 active duty American soldiers, which blocks the narrow coastal approach into the rest of California with geographic—
And that's a lot of Marines too, man. A lot of Marines. Our nation's finest. The craziest. That's what you're dealing with. Have fun with that.
Graphic features like the Mojave Desert and the Peninsular, Transverse, and Sierra Nevada mountains all heavily blocking the approach to the east of San Diego. And the situation—
But I'm not even kidding, man. A fucking Marine will eat you. He will. He'll kill you and eat you. And there's like over 100,000 plus here, man. And a lot of them, they're so gung-ho that they're just hoping for a reason. They go to bed at night praying for a reason. Because their trigger finger's just itching that badly.
In Texas wouldn't be much better, because the biggest US armor base in the entire world is located very near to the border here at Fort Cavazos, which alone is home to tens of thousands of American troops and hundreds of modern Abrams main battle tanks that could quickly organize a response to a ground invasion from this direction too.
To get started in data analytics, you don't need previous experience or a degree.
So
The
I
Google
guess take
Data
your pick,
Analytics
dog.
Certificate
Moreover, the rest of the outside world combined would struggle with fielding enough tanks in North America to confront the massively lopsided advantage that the US military currently possesses in armor. The US military has around 61,000 tanks currently within its arsenal of war, which is more tanks than in the combined armies of the next 3 biggest tank forces in the world all combined. Russia,
Guys, I was in the service, but I didn't know any of this information. I knew we had a lot of tanks. I didn't know it was 60,000. I knew we had a lot of F-35s. I didn't know it was 800. I knew we had a lot of stuff, I just never knew the exact number of the shit that we had. Fucking mind-boggling.
China and Turkey, and Russia.
Like, the disparity is just obscene. Obscene.
Has recently lost thousands of their most advanced tanks in Ukraine since they invaded in 2022. So, all in all, the geographic defenses of the United States against an outside invasion are really unparalleled by just about any other country in the world. They have 2 massive oceans on either side of them to the east and the west. The Cascades, Sierra Nevada, and Rocky Mountains all in.
And you know what? It kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense on why our Navy is so powerful and a lot of these other countries, their Navy isn't. Look how much water we have to cover. We have to have the best Navy in the world. As opposed to some of these other countries that are fucking landlocked. Their Navy's either not there or non-existent or just, I don't know, not that good. We had to, yeah. Makes sense. Geographically, there's just certain things that we just had to have, I guess.
On the west that dramatically impede an invasion from that direction too, in addition to the Mojave, Sonoran, and Chihuahuan deserts, and to an extent the Rio Grande River that would all impede invasions from the south. The Appalachian Mountains, the Great Lakes, the St. Lawrence Seaway, and the Canadian Shield, and its own sparse population across the Great Plains that would all heavily impede an invasion coming in from the north. And even dense swamps in Louisiana and Florida that would slow down amphibious assaults coming up from the Gulf of Mexico, which all combine to roughly protect the core population centers of the United States from every single direction in an almost 360-degree sense. In short, the logistics required to transport untold numbers of soldiers and their equipment to the core population centers of the United States is really, really difficult to actually do. Wow.
All right, we're gonna stop it right there. We're gonna get onto some other videos, and then I'll come back to this one, just so we can change it up, because this is an hour long, and we stop after 35. So, oh fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So basically, after basically the only thing to after watching this video, the only thing that can really fuck up this country is a natural disaster or a meteorological event, which is going to happen soon. I don't know if you guys know or care or even track these things. There's an asteroid that's going to be passing by Earth here very soon, and when I say very soon, I mean like within 5 years. And when this asteroid passes, it will be less than 500,000 miles away. It'll be the closest thing that has ever passed by the Earth. Recorded, anyway. And there's a certain gap, there's a certain keyhole gap between the orbit of the Earth and where it's going to be passing. And there's a certain little gap in space that if this big fucking rock hits this gap, it will pass the Earth. But if it hits this gap specifically, and there's like, I don't know, it's over. I can't remember the percentage of it happening. Like 20-something% or something like that. I can't remember. Passes through this little keyhole. It will keep going, but after it passes through there, it will now be, it'll get locked into Earth's orbit, but not really. It'll get locked into a certain place to where it'll get slingshotted. And when it gets slingshotted on its very next rotation, which will happen 7 years after that, there is a possibility that on its next come around, it will impact Earth, and they said the impact is going to be somewhere in the middle of the ocean or some shit. And that it's massive. It's not world ending, but it's just like it'll be catastrophic for a lot of people. But so yeah, here in a couple years it'll pass. If it hits that designated marker that will make it to where it latches on to Earth's gravitational pull, it'll get slingshotted. 7 years later, when it comes back around, it will make an impact. But that's just if it does hit that specific distance between the Earth and its gravitational pull and where the asteroid is going to be passing. So it's basically all up to chance, really. So yeah, from what I was watching, California will be absolutely fucking devastated. From what I heard. It was like this big talk on astronomy and asteroids and stuff like that that I watched. It was like Neil deGrasse Tyson and like 2 other theoretical physicists or some shit. Yo, Roth, what's going on, man? Yeah, he did do that, didn't he? He did comedy for American Troops. I can't remember when that was. I don't even think I saw that special. I've seen a lot of Robin Williams stuff. But I don't know. I met a couple cool people when I was in the service. Just, you know, I probably wouldn't have met these people had I not been in the service. But I met Jason Witten from the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if I doubt he still plays. He was the tight end for the Dallas Cowboys for a time. I met him. And then Peyton Manning and Bagram. He was there doing something at Bagram. It was like some strongman competition where like we had our buffest, swollest, most cut soldiers compete in like Mr. Olympia style competition at Bagram. And there was that. There was like some football stuff. And yeah, that was about it. All right, let me see what's Dan the Man is Wild. Dan, not Dan the Man.
Wawa's new Apple handcrafted beverages are here. Treat.
Oh, this place is also expensive as shit. Good though. All right. Let's see what this is.
I know it's been a good minute since y'all got a short vid out of me, but this was a show I wanted to check out, so I might as well check it out with y'all. And it gives me a little break from the 40-minute vids. But yeah, I seen them trailers and it caught my eye. Now, first thing I gotta say is that...
We're watching the right thing, right, Kevin? If Kevin's even here, he can watch this back. I hope this is the right thing. Yeah, it is. 11:20. Yeah, all right.
Opening is tough. Now, first thing we see is homegirl arguing with her boyfriend. Now, fellas, you do not want to be like this guy. This is what you call a bum. Asking your girl for money to take her out is diabolical work. These are the type of guys who peak in high school. 10 years later, you're going to try to get some Mickey D's when you see them at the cash register. Oh man, Kev, that's you? Remember me? We went to the same school together. How's it been? We are not friends, bro. Even back in school, we was at most associates. They be trying to spark a full-blown convo like, bro, this is not what I came here for. The last thing I want to do at McDonald's is have a reunion. Just hand me my nuggets, dude. But to make it even more weird, dude was like, oh yeah, I can just take you to a love hotel. I can't even blame her. She was going straight for the juggler. That guy's a weirdo. But it was to no avail. She got dropped immediately. Jesus. So she heads to class and her friends are clowning her goofy ass. They told her not to date that bum, but she still did it anyway. And her excuse was that he looked like Ken Takakura, whoever that is. But now that that's out the way, the fuck is that? What is this monstrosity on my screen?
Looks like something.
Not gonna lie, you gotta
Avatar.
fight somebody. Your parents, siblings, shit, even your so-called friends right behind you. They just let you walk in the house like that with that bullshit on your face. Obviously, they don't care about you. And you got the supplies on your desk like you did a good job, bro. Throw that shit away. Makeup could be cool. Just make sure it's not in your hands. Also, on another note, is this how Japanese people see us? Cause there's times when they get us right. They got better over the years. But there's times when they fully despise us. So she was walking the halls when she peeps these kids bullying this dude. And how bad does the bullying gotta be for the entire class to segregate? They refuse to sit next to bro. And why are you throwing paper? Like you not sitting by yourself just like him. They are not gonna be friends with you, bro. You can cut it out. And look at these badass kids. Throwing paper is already crazy, but putting a magnet in there is out of pocket. Where are the teachers at? Anime makes it seem like there's only 3 teachers in the entire school, bro. Help him. They getting creative now. Who just casually has a magnet in their pocket? They gonna start smuggling in contraband next week. But that's when homegirl sits next.
Bro, I like how his bullies.
Entire school, bro. Help him. They getting creative.
I like how his bullies look like fucking K-pop stars. And then the dude they're bullying looks like Mr. Miyagi. Like some old guy.
Now, who just casually has a magnet in their pocket? They gonna start smuggling in contraband next week. But that's when homegirl sits next to him and all of them got in line. But now she's back to waddling in the halls and I don't even know how bro got here. Instant transmission, but he goes full dweeb mode talking about how Trump met up with aliens or something like that. Homegirl's like, yeah, I don't really care about UFOs and stuff. Actually, they're called UAPs. Unidentified aerial phenomena. I'm glad she walked away because he just kept going. But her walking away must have not been a big enough hint. Huh? I don't care. Leave me alone, you dweeb. The last thing I need is your dork ass shoving your weird books in my face. That's why you have no friends, you fucking loser.
I don't know if that's what she actually said.
But that guilt immediately
assuming.
kicked in. When you say something crazy expecting them to fire back, but they don't, now you feel like a dickhead. Now you have to apologize. Hey, I'm sorry. I don't believe aliens are real, but I believe ghosts are. You believe in ghosts at your grown age? You know, maybe he isn't that bad. I kind of like this guy. They was arguing about it and this angle is way worse. Look like a damn skull trooper. So they made a deal that he has to go somewhere haunted, and if he sees a ghost...
You know, something tells me that's going to be a trend here soon on TikTok. We're going to start seeing girls out in public looking fucking wild. Yeah. Like that fucking Fortnite skin. Yikes.
Trooper. So they made a deal that he has to go somewhere haunted, and if he sees a ghost, he becomes her servant. And the same goes for her. If she sees an alien, she becomes his servant. So it cussed her at the place, and not gonna lie, I thought this was a group project. Why are you here by yourself? They're talking to each other on the phone, and it turns out bro was on a whole different map looking for ghosts. Huh? So you're both stupid. Never watched a horror movie before? Oh yeah, she's doomed. Meanwhile, bro was tweaking out and yelling in a tunnel and Momo was like, oh, by the way, ghosts don't like loud noises. At least that's what they say online. Huh? Oh, so you're a fraud. I'm not a fraud. I told you my grandma's a medium. She's the one who raised me. Both my parents are dead. Damn, okay. I don't know why you felt the need to tell him that. Now, of all times, there's a time and a place, and this was neither. Like, that information had no benefit on the convo at all. If anything, you made it awkward, because what else can you say to that besides sorry? But I guess that was supposed to lead into her backstory. So when she was younger, her grandma had her doing this ritual pose for good luck. Doesn't matter where she was at, where she was going, she was told.
Yeah, that is pretty jarring whenever someone does that. And it actually reminds me of something. Last night, for the first time, I don't know why or how I haven't seen this movie, I watched Donnie Darko. It was like from 2001, had Jake Gyllenhaal, a young-ass looking Jake Gyllenhaal. And in the movie, he meets a girl, and it's like, oh, hey, hi, my name's so-and-so. He's like, my name's Donnie. You know, you new here? She's like, yeah, my parents got divorced after my dad stabbed her in the chest 5 times. And I'm just like, God damn! You just met! You want to save that for, like, I don't know, like the 5th date or something? Nah, bro, she just went balls deep with just, like, awful information on, like, the first encounter. And I'm just like, weird-ass girl, dude. Holy. Like, cool.
To do the pose, but it got to the point where her classmates started making fun of her. Worst of all, her little crush was in on it too, and kids gonna be kids. She told her grandma that she hates her and is never doing that pose again. But she wasn't really mad about her little crush not liking her back. She was more mad that her little crush was making fun of her grandma. And all that was to say that she believes in ghosts because she loves her grandma and she believes in what she does. Then she was like, now it's your turn to tell me why you believe in aliens. Shit, I don't know. They kind of cool, so why not? You know, I kind of like this. You're easy to talk to. We should do this more often. Damn, I must be tweaking.
Oh! I'll let you suckle my teats, boy. If you let me gobble your dog. What?
Man, I can already see the comments now. Hey, Kev, hear me out. No, keep your fetishes away from me. See, this guy got the right idea. That ghost motives are out of pocket. Like, you don't want to kill me or anything? Take over my body, perhaps? Why is your goal to be a freak? But unfortunately, running was pointless. Got hit with a domain expansion, and at that point, he was doomed. But they're in this together. If one gets caught, so does the other. Got ran up on by 3 Mr. Beans. And not gonna lie, a lot of questionable activities is going on right now. She wakes up trapped in a chair, clothes torn, surrounded by these freak demons talking about some,
we are a friendly species. Unfortunately, we are all male, so we cannot reproduce normally.
What is that?
Bro, what is going on? Look at his face. That boy is ecstatic. Happiest he ever been. And it's just getting freakier and freakier. They started using psychic abilities to force arousal. Huh? I don't even know what to say. They're pushing boundaries but not quite hitting the line yet.
Terrible timing. Your girl's busy.
He did not let.
Homie pulled out the D1000 and just started going to town on this girl, and I think she's about to whip their ass.
Terrible timing. Your girl's busy.
He did not let that slide. Took that shit to heart, and climbing through a phone is cool as shit. Not even gonna lie. But the first thing he does, shit, I ain't know Diddy had influence on other planets. Shaboing boing munching as your primary attack is wicked work. Like, on one hand, ayo.
Yeah, it really is. Like, out of the 1,000,001 different moves that you could have done, you could have karate chopped, you could have kicked, you could have punched. You could have waxed on and waxed off. Like, you could have done a whole bunch of things. You did that. That just means, like, that was your whole plan all along. Like, before you even crawled out of the fucking phone screen, your plan was to bite him on the dick.
Had a lot of options there, but you choose to chomp on Shaboing Boing. But on the other hand, that might have been a big brain play. If you think about it, you can take a couple punches to the face and be alright, but once you get hit below the belt, you're finished.
He's got a point, and especially if someone's face is down there doing demonic shit, I don't even want to fight you anymore. Really. Fight's over. You win. Fine. Take the L. It's okay.
And even if you do get back up, that's minus 30 to your strength, minus 45 on your speed, minus 58 to accuracy, minus 71 to intellect. Your armor broke, health is on 1 HP. It's really a downhill battle from there. I'm just saying that might have been a good strategy. Would I do it? Fuck no. I'd rather fight Batman himself than do that. My job was to recognize the game plan. I'm not the one on the court. Cause look, it did work. He's not getting up anytime soon. And Momo is a funny person. She sees bro, makes direct eye contact, sees his predicament, proceeds to say nothing along the lines of, oh, are you okay? Is that still you in there? She said, get me out of here now. And I respected every word. I'll check up on you when I'm safe. But then the Mr. Beans proceed to rip their skins off. And this episode must be Shaboing Boing themed because they cannot stop talking about it.
Give us your banana.
Kill me.
So homeboy dodges all their attacks, hits him with a jump scare, and ain't no way. The Shaboing Boing bandit strikes again. He literally had a free headshot but still went for the jewels. That is insane.
Dude, he only has one move and he's spamming it.
I really hope when he gets back in control, someone tells him about his nefarious acts, about to make a name for yourself for the wrong reasons. So he goes for the next one but gets shut down immediately. But that's when he had his main character moment. I don't care what you do to me. I never had any friends and I thought if anyone would, it would be aliens. I called out to you for years, but you never showed up. I got bullied.
I hope that the translation of his dialogue is at least a little bit accurate.
Non-stopping.
I wouldn't know. I haven't seen this. This is a wild-ass show.
No one cared. But Momo was the only one who stood up for me. I won't let anyone hurt her. Shut up, Goofy. Yeah, that's enough fighting for one day. But when one MC gets that power up, the other has to get one too. And is that a flashback I see? Yeah, I'll go ahead and say they won this fight. She just learned how to release her chi. And she couldn't connect that kick earlier, so she said, fuck it, why not let it fly? And for a split second there, I thought she pulled off a crazy feat. Was about to say she can probably box with Naruto in them. But turns out she just kicked bro into his own whip. Homeboy still tweaking out though. He trying to catch as many bodies as possible.
I thought she kicked homie into the fucking sun.
But she ends up pushing the freak lady out his body. And before leaving, I kid you not, she says she swipe or no swiped his Shaboing Boing. And as long as she has it, he will be cursed. If you want it back, pull up to the tunnel. Let's fight, you tacky little bitch. And that was word for word. I did not come up with that. And so much is going on. Now the UFO's about to crash into the building.
If I'm not mistaken, I think she stole homie's penis. He said she took his Shaboing Boing and said that he wasn't going to get it back. And that he was cursed. I guess. He just pulled a move from today's playbook. Just, you know.
I got no clue how they even got in there, and there's no point in questioning it. So now they're in a weird situation. First off, Momo lost her fit. She better hope grandma is asleep by the time she get back home. But if she stops using her power on bro, then he's gonna transform again. So his game plan was to give Momo his clothes while he goes on the most important mission of his life, the Shaboing Boing retrieval arc. Now obviously she wasn't gonna let him do that by himself, but this next line changed their whole dynamic. Sorry, I'm an awkward guy. Could you please put this on already? I'm worried I won't be able to think straight. Hey, if it works, it works. She likes the nerdy guys. But it was really because he happened to say one of Ken Tucker's lines. The same guy she was talking about earlier. I'm assuming he's an author and she reads his books or something like that. But to confirm, she was like, I never got your name. What did you say it was again?
I'm Ken Takakura.
Oh yeah, he got it. Now off the first episode, can't lie, that was pretty cool. The thing that sells for me is good characters. I think I'ma like the interactions in the show. Also, the art is A1, makes my eyes happy. But the only problem I have is that we gotta wait a whole week for the next episode.
See, bro, I'm telling you, that's why I don't watch shows as they air. That shit's annoying. I just wait and then binge watch the entire season. Better for me that way. I don't like having to keep up episode to episode, and then I forget shit, and then I miss the recap, and then I can't go back and watch the last episode. Well, I could, but you know, I'd rather just be one fluid thing, watch it all the way through, like I did with Fallout, and like I did with I believe I did the same thing with Terminal List, did the same thing with The Boys. All right. OEST versus Helldiver, huh? No, I haven't heard of Goosh Goosh. I don't know what that is. Alright, ODST versus Helldivers. It'll be on episodes 2 and 3. All I know is Helldivers are fucking weird. From what I've seen so far. Oh, alright. No, we saw episode 2. Fuck. 3, actually. Where's 3? Don't fuck me. Seriously? Hold on, there's a playlist here. Maybe this has it. Hold on. No, these are in short. I don't want to watch it in short form. I want to watch it in... No. Hold on. Bro, come on. Please? You know what we'll do? I got it. Before I... You know what? I'm just going to type it in. It's easier. There we go. Holy shit. Why did that take so long?
I'm Hung Kao, retired Navy captain.
Good.
I spent 25 years fighting for Americans all over the world.
Okay. Here we go. ODST vs. Helldiver, episode 3.
Diver, stop. You can't just bury him alive, dude.
Hell, I can't. He fornicated with the bugs.
But we're brothers. You just wait a second.
I have no brother. Get back in your hole, you traitor.
Daddy, is that really you?
Yes, sweet Junebug, it's me. Let's run away from here, far away. Let's just wait one second for me to catch my breath.
Okay, Daddy, I trust you.
No!
Democracy officer has arrived.
Sweet Jesus. Halo titties.
Is that a...
Yeah, Spartan.
Are they all that big?
No. Nope. Mm-mm.
I mean, sweet
liberty.
God damn.
Yeah.
I am your superior and I demand a sit rep.
I'm sorry, you just have such a commanding presence.
You can be my superior, yeah.
Your file did say you were fucking stupid.
Wait, me or him?
Also, this man is a coward. Isn't that an arrestable offense?
Huh, okay. What kind of coward?
Whoa.
He had a vibrator in his pants and he lied about
It's a stress reducer. It's military issued. It's a Halo thing.
You're a bug sympathizer.
Nothing in here about friendly fire. But it is illegal to lie to a fellow Helldiver, so that's the write-up.
Huh? Oh god, I am this stupid.
Yes! Wait, do you all have stress reducers?
No.
First cam built in.
Anyways, why are you killing a fellow Helldiver?
I'm burying my brother because he fornicated with the bugs!
A code 42.
Are you serious? This is a normal occurrence.
It's actually not illegal anymore because it just happens so often.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, baby boy, Steve. He's always been like this.
Not legal anymore.
I should have known ever since we were kids. Steve would put his pecker in anthills.
They allowed this guy to be a Helldiver.
The pain didn't stop him. Nor did the neighbors when they heard the screams.
And then they put him on a bug planet.
Shut up. I'm trying to listen to this sad story.
He just kept going. Mother would want this. Super Earth be praised.
Earth be praised.
Thank you for putting this sick son of a bitch out of his
How about
misery.
some PT and we do some jumping jacks, Captain?
Oh!
I think my ways have been wrong. If I could just have sex with one more bug.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I got this.
They what? Command just told me y'all refused to sign up for your PlayStation accounts?
Please don't make me sign up for that.
You're in huge trouble. You must choose execution in front of your peers.
No, please, no. I'm a good helldiver, I swear.
Or banished, there's no way, exiled to the far outer rims forever.
Oh, God, no, not the outer rims.
Or the worst punishment of them all. A spanking.
No, God, no! Wait, what was that last one?
A spanking. Which is a pretty ugly affair, so really you only have two choices, execution or exile.
I think I would.
Yeah, you know, I think I'm gonna go with the last one.
Exile?
No, the last one.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, I think I've clearly had a lapse in judgment, and I've been a bad helldiver.
Well, get on over here, soldier. Just bend over this rock.
She's gonna end up shoving something up your ass. You're not gonna like it.
Wait, I'm getting punished as well, right?
Yeah, you're next.
Oh, darn, that sucks.
And you want exile or execution?
Same thing. Yeah, same thing.
I'm waiting.
Are you ready, Helldiver?
Yes, ma'am. I'm ready to take one for the team. Lay your hands of justice on my sweet bottom. I've been a bad Helldiver and deserve nothing more than to be licking at your heel. Oh, sweet fucking... Oh, you evil temptress! I need a stem!
What did you do to him?
Ah! Run, Chopper! Run!
Oh my God! Oh.
This was not pleasurable in the slightest!
Wait.
Hey, right side, you got one motorboat in before you got split in half.
Freedom doesn't come free! Oh, I respect it! I respect it, Spartan!
Me bilkers.
Oh my god. Alright, let's do episode 4. Where is it? Episode 4, okay.
The way House Varun started is this colony ship was making grab jumps to their destination. One of
Massage his back.
I'm not doing
That's
that.
an order.
If you don't help me relax and call in the stratagem, we're all going to die.
What? How? God damn it.
Oh, it's just really bad in my neck up here. Oh.
This makes no sense, and I hate you.
Make your way to my hip, Space Marine.
Can you please stop thumping your foot?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we have backup.
Oh, you can't rush perfection.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Wow. Thanks for
pilot.
Space Marine.
Finally, someone with their head screwed on straight.
Titanfall.
I'm an ODST from Halo. Pronouns are he and him.
Pronouns? Oh, yeah, of course. And hang on, I got him here somewhere. Just give me a second to look. There's she and your. Let me see your mom's titties. My pronouns are freedom and liberty.
Oh, shut up.
Pilot, that was extremely offensive.
Oh, my God, will you shut the up? The man is talking to the boys.
You need to check your male privilege. Our mission was to give this team cultural diversity and sensitivity training.
Aw, is baby hungry?
Oh, of course you have a pet bird.
Her name is Lady Athena.
Diver, that's a male eagle.
Oh, sick! Lady, will you put those damn things away? Yeah! Good Lord, this is a war zone, not your OnlyFans.
Pilot, you're not being very inclusive.
How about you lose some weight, Sharon, you fat ass, all right? I don't listen to fat people.
We don't want to be on the wrong side of history. You could also say, Sex work is completely acceptable behavior, ma'am.
I don't.
Will you give me a grape juice box already? Oh, God, it's so hot. Can I get one, too? You thirsty? Why not milk that cow over there?
I will destroy you.
Whoa! Whoa! Yeah. Oh, I ain't scared of no woman. I can freaking wall run. What you gonna do? Suffocate me between them? Sign me the fuck up.
I could, but you'd hate it because you're clearly gay.
Oh, you think just because I'm a strong, masculine, alpha fucking male, the true sigma of my species, I'm closeted or something? Then you know what? Where's straight month, huh?
Oh, I think that's gonna get us cancelled.
Lockjaw, show them the thing.
I'm not
Oh my god,
letting
I
you
completely didn't even see that it said that on the front.
display my cannon right now.
And it has an actual hawk.
Oh, don't be shy. Whip that thing out. Show them what we got, baby. Oh! Look away, Lady Athena. This here genuine piece of manhood technology is the Automaton Blaster 3000, custom built by yours truly, Chad the Sex Titanfall II. So that thing shoots the fattest loads of freedom you'd ever done put your eyes on, boy.
Oh, Pilot, you're warming up my cannon.
Now, do you think I'm straight?
Hey, Diver! We survived your minefield!
No, you're dead. You thought.
Oh, check out this little beauty. Smart pistol.
Can't believe it. This guy's...
The smart pistol was actually the shit, bro. That thing was good, but I think the R301, the car, the Kraber, I went ham with that thing. That thing was great. The Spitfire, but that machine pistol was good too.
more annoying than Diver.
I mean, he is an idiot, but it kind of seems like he has no friends, you know?
And shoot. Dead betas all around me.
Wait, it just spreads democracy on its own?
Maybe if you stick around long enough, I'll let you polish the weapon. We can do it while you're sitting in my lap in the Titan.
Oh, okay. As long as I get to press the buttons.
Definitely gave
I
out.
love pressing buttons.
You can press whatever buttons you want at that point.
We're gonna spread democracy everywhere.
Oh, we'll spread something, my friend. We'll spread something.
Okay, firstly, Diver, you're not doing that. Secondly, it sounds like you just need a gun to aim for you.
Yes, because if someone, let's say, jumps on my back and starts trying to choke me out, well, all I gotta do is aim straight. Fire, no longer my problem.
Sounds like a gun for a beta.
Wait a second. No, you're a woke feminist, aren't you?
Pilot, you need to check your male privilege and not offend this team.
This is not a team. We've got a washed-up reject. Seriously, dude, Halo's dead. Just give up already.
Hey.
Then there's this woke feminist over here. And that guy. Brother, who actually is pretty cool, even though he is a fucker.
I'm a part of the team.
And Mr. Democratic, Liberty Bell humping dipshit thinking he's actually gonna save the galaxy with his brain-dead nonsense.
Yep, that's
Seriously,
me.
how many of you friendly fired yourself in the past hour alone? Super Earth.
I, need to speak with you.
Oh, I'd love to hear
I just want to talk
to this dribbled, brainwashed jabber about freedom. Who's in charge here?
I'm in charge.
Well, that's the funniest damn thing I'd ever done heard.
Why is that?
Oh, God, you're telling me that the OnlyFans chick is in charge? Are you crazy? God, you're fucking insane. Oh, wait, what the hell? Be useful for once, goddammit.
Pilot, you've offended me.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm homosexual.
Shouldn't you be stopping this?
Nah, friendly fire's legal, and it's kind of fun to watch the boys fight in the hot sand.
Don't you understand how lucky you
Tongue
are?
goes kinky.
You're off my hogs.
Now do you see how important freedom is?
I'm sorry. Show them your cannon.
Let the democracy spread.
What a douche.
Got any more of those? grape juice boxes.
Do y'all think Halo's actually dead?
It depends on who you ask. It's dead to me. I don't know about y'all, man. I haven't played Halo in fucking ages. And then some of those games, they didn't even put a campaign. It was just multiplayer. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, dudes. I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna go hang out with my niece. Today is her birthday. Her birthday party was last weekend, but today is her actual birthday, so gonna go hang out with her for a little bit. Be live again tomorrow. Do some music. I think. Wait, yeah. Tomorrow is. Oh yeah, we'll do yeah, tomorrow music, and then Saturday will be a variety stream here on YouTube. All right, so have a good evening. I will see y'all tomorrow. If you need anything, y'all can hit me up, at me, DM me, and I will see y'all later. All right.